So let's just go ahead and get started with the review. I have been trying out these concealers for over a week now. I think I could have gone a shade lighter, which is, you know, the downside to this whole Kylie Jenner situation, because you cannot return her products. Therefore, if you pick the wrong shade, I guess you are basically fucked. So let's go ahead and read the little claims of this thing. This retails for $20. The shade selection is incredible. It does come in 30 different shades, like from super fair to super deep, so that's awesome. I love that. This claims to be a lightweight formula that provides medium buildable coverage for a skin-like finish, and it is supposed to be long wearing. It's supposed to give you a luminous finish, ideal for all skin types. The shade Ivory, and the description for Ivory, it said it was a light yellow with yellow undertones for light skin. A light yellow with yellow undertones? I don't think that makes sense. Light yellow with yellow undertones. I don't know, but my skin, my undertone is kind of like olive yellow, so that's the reason why I went with Ivory. I think I could have gone a shade lighter, although I think Gypsum is the shade before this one, and I feel like Gypsum has too much of a pink undertone. So I don't know, maybe I can mix Gypsum and I can mix this one, although if I'm wasting $20 on a concealer, I would want it to be like my perfect shade. I wouldn't want to, you know, be buying two and mixing in the two. So this is like a close-up of the tube. I need to compare the shade with the Tarte Shape Tape, and I'm also going to be comparing it with my Born This Way Too Faced that I have been using for quite a while. So yeah, it definitely looks a lot more like the Too Faced Born This Way in the shade Light. Definitely, hell yeah. This is an up close of the shades. Up here we have Tarte Shape Tape in Light Sand. Up next we have the Kylie Cosmetics concealer in the shade Ivory, and then here we have Too Faced Born This Way in the shade Light. So as you can see, I feel like the Kylie concealer is the closest to my Too Faced Born This Way, which is what I would use to spot conceal. So I feel like I could have gone a shade lighter. Yeah. I mean, I can definitely work with Ivory. It's more like of a skin tone kind of color, but I can definitely work with it by mixing it in with Tarte Shape Tape and Light Sand. Then use the shade Ivory, and I'm just going to, it has a paddle lock applicator, nothing out of this world. And I am just going to, you know, like a little thick. I wouldn't say it feels like super lightweight, or it kind of looks lightweight, but it's, I don't know, it's like super hard to explain. Like my Tarte Shape Tape is full coverage, but it feels really lightweight. And this one is supposed to be lightweight, but it feels a little bit heavier. You know what I mean? I would say it's a little bit hard to blend. I wouldn't say it's completely, you know, super easy to blend. It is a little bit hard, but it's nothing like out of this world. And then I'm going to go ahead and blend the other side real quickly. One thing I will say, since I have been using this concealer for over a week now, this is not ideal to use as a eyeshadow primer or like an eyeshadow base. It definitely does not work that way, even if you set it. It got really oily on me, so yeah, I do not recommend this as a eyeshadow primer. There's that blended. I kind of used a foundation a little bit darker than what I would normally wear. So as you guys can see, it did brighten up, but it didn't really brighten up completely. So I'm going to go ahead apply some more on the areas where I would apply concealer. Now we are going to go ahead and contour with the shade Almond, which is, I haven't tried this to contour, to be honest. I feel like it looks a little bit dark and intense, so I don't even want to go ham on this because I'm kind of scared, to be honest. I feel like that, like I'm scared to go, you know, because you know what happened to me? I used the ColourPop concealer in the shade Deep Golden to contour, and I made a mess of myself, so now I'm like kind of scared. I don't know, I'm kind of scared. We'll just do it with this. I guess this one is not that intense. This is in the shade Almond, and I feel like it's alright. It doesn't look bad. I don't know if my lighting is like too dark and it just looks awful right now because I don't know how to work my lights right now or my microphone. To be honest, at this point, I don't know if you guys are hearing me, but this is for dry skin. If you are dry skin, you are going to love this concealer. I absolutely love it for the days that I don't want to go glam, for the days just like for an everyday basis for work. I really, really, really love this concealer. I know a lot of people are comparing this concealer to the Tarte Shape Tape. I do not think so at all whatsoever. It is not as full coverage as a Tarte Shape Tape. It does not give you that, you know, flawless airbrush under eye. It's more of a dewier under eye. So if you like something dewy, if you like, you know, just naturally radiant concealers, I feel like this is really, really good for that reason. Oh, I have like a hair here and it's like bugging me. So yeah, that's that. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my face, and then I'll come back to see if this is worth the money or not. Okay. Alright guys, so now we are gonna go ahead and jump into the NYX palette that I have tried, and I kind of know my thoughts. I feel like it's a palette that you don't need in your life. It is pretty, you know, the packaging is velvet, it's white. Mine's all dirty. I mean, what's new? But it has a huge mirror as well, and the colors are beautiful. When I saw it, I really like, I was shocked. I fell in love with the colors, to be honest, and that's like all I can zoom you. It's like all zoomed in. I can zoom more. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and take Santa Baby, which is this color right here. It's just perfect for the transition. I feel like it's the perfect shade, and they are pigmented. They are super pigmented. I'm just going to pop this on the crease area. Alrighty, so up next I'm going to take Ginger Snap, which is a beautiful yellow mustardy color. And I'm going to take this in a Morphe R39. Whoa, these are really pigmented. Like, I feel like this palette impressed me out of like all of her palettes that she has come up with. Like this one and the first one, which is like the bronze palette, I believe. But this one has really good pigment to it. I wouldn't say it's a must-have in your collection, definitely not. So I'm just going to pop this right underneath that Santa Baby shade. Kind of give it some dimension, and focusing this color on my outer V, but I'm also going to bring it slowly into my inner corner as well. Pigmented, but one thing I am going to say is that this palette reminds me a lot of the Anastasia Beverly Hills subculture, where if you mix the shades, they perform black or like dark in the sense. Like I mixed Hot Cider, which is this beautiful dark, it has like purple in there. I mixed it in with this one up here, and it kind of performed black, like mixing in the shadows. Like, it's not a very versatile palette. Can't really play around with the palette. I feel like you can't really mix the shadows together. That's just how I feel. But up next, I'm going to take Hot Cider, and I'm also going to concentrate this on the outer part of my eye. Ooh, these are so pigmented, and they are powdery as well, like the subculture. So this is so pigmented, but I'm just concentrating this on the outer part, both eyes, and then I'm going to go back in and blend everything out. This one is a little bit patchy. I will say that this dark shade is a little bit patchier than the other ones that I have tried, but nothing that we can't fix. You know, like I'm going to start building the color. I am going to be taking the color Slay, which is this perfect yellow color, and I'm just going to pop that on the inner part of my lid. Ooh, this is so pigmented. I'm not going to use Fix Plus, just so we can see the intensity. Whoa. Yeah. Just so we can see the intensity that this color gives us. Ooh. This is like a really pretty gold that you don't really need Fix Plus to intensify the color. Ooh, this is pigmented. I'm going to be taking the shade Jack Frost, which is the white one, but I feel like this shade is not white. I feel like it is like an iridescent kind of flesh tone. It kind of turns out to be gold. I don't know. It's more on like the gold side. I know it looks white in the pan, but... So I'm just gonna go back in, blend everything out. Now I'm going to take all the shades that I used on my top. I'm going to take them on my lower lash line real quickly so we can speed up the process. I'm going to be taking a flat brush, like a really flat brush. I'm going to take this one right here. This is the M432 by Morphe. It's just a flat brush, and I'm going to be taking hot cider, which is the dark brown here, and I'm just going to concentrate that on the lash line, on my bottom lash line. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop on these lashes. They're so like wiggly though. I wouldn't say the palette is a bad palette, but I will definitely say that there's just better dupes out there. I mean, you don't really need this palette, to be honest, because I feel like this shade, it's not even like a dark brown. Okay, so this is the final look. I really did like how it turned out, even though I was like having lash difficulty over here, but I really like how it turned out. I can't talk today. It's like there's days where the whole thing situation going on and we don't vibe, you know what I mean? Like, we just don't fucking vibe. The microphone, the camera, the light, everything, we just don't vibe. And that's one of those days today. But anyways, I really don't think you need this palette. I would definitely pass on this palette. I feel like there's better dupes out there that perform better. Although it's not a bad palette, I feel like I have gotten even worse palettes from Kylie Cosmetics, but I mean, it's not a bad palette, but it's not a good one either. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Me and her palettes just have like love-hate relationships. Moving on to the concealers, which is like the fun part of the video. I feel like they are worth the money. I feel like $20 is definitely a good price point. Now, this formula is more like the Born This Way Too Faced Naturally Radiant Concealer. I feel like the formula is the exact same thing. They're very naturally radiant. This one's more luminous. It's like very pasty, and it's a little bit hard to blend, but it's a really good concealer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna come up here and tell you it's super easy to blend when it's not easy to blend, but after I blend it, I feel like it looks really nice. It looks luminous. It doesn't look matte like my Tarte Shape Tape. And even after I set it with the powder, I don't think it's matte either. Maybe if you're dry skin, you would think it's like super matte if you set it. There you go. Luminous is the word for this concealer. But yeah guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you did, make sure to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I will catch you guys in my next one very soon. Bye guys.